Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. I'm so glad you're here. If you are new to my channel, my name is Jennifer Niggle. I am the creator of the Body by Jenny Bar program. If you would like to come check me out on Instagram, I'll link it below. On my channel, I share all things health and fitness and wellness, hopefully inspire you guys to lead a healthy and happy life. So today's special video, I want to share with you guys 5 reasons why I personally am excited to be getting older. If that sounds good to you, grab a cup of coffee, get a snack, and let's get into it. A few weeks, I will be turning 43, and in all honesty, I'm feeling very, very excited about it. I feel like this is Jenny chapter 2.0. I am the happiest and healthiest I think I've been in a very long time, and I want to share with you guys 5 reasons why. So if you are currently feeling maybe a little bit sad or depressed or down about getting older, hopefully this will change your mind. So number 1 on my list is maybe something you have heard before, maybe from your parents or your grandparents, and maybe you didn't believe them. Number 1 for me is that I am older and I am wiser. It allows me to have more life experience. I knew the things I know now. Back then in my 20s and in my 30s, I probably would have been unstoppable. I just didn't have the life experience. I was really unsure of myself. Even though I thought I knew a lot back then, I really didn't. And I truly feel like now in my 40s, I've had so many experiences, some good, some bad, some extremely challenging, that have really shaped me into the person that I am today. I have really, truly dedicated myself to being the best possible version of myself that I can truly be. So that when I look back on this video, when I'm in my 50s and potentially in my 60s and 70s, I've gained so much more valuable life experience. So if I'm blessed to live another 30 to 40 years, I hope that I have gained so much more life experience and have come so much further in my personal growth and development. So number 2 on my list is that I don't care what other people think. When I was younger, in my 20s specifically, I cared way too much about what other people thought of me. I had a little bit of a lower self-esteem. During that time period, I had really terrible cystic acne. I was very insecure of myself for that reason. So I was very quiet, very reserved. I just didn't put myself out there, and I really did care what other people thought of me. So I would never have ventured into the world of YouTube or started an Instagram or done anything like I'm doing now in my 40s. And I actually didn't even venture into the world of YouTube and Instagram until 39, almost 40 years old. So I definitely would not have had the confidence because I would have been so consumed and worried about being judged or what people thought of me or thing about myself that I know at that time period, I just would not have put myself on the internet like I do now. As I've gotten older, I care so much less about what people think of me. And I really and truly just try to be my most authentic self. And I think the people that like me will like me. And I think the people that won't like me won't. And I don't have to care about that. And I've realized that I can't change anyone's opinion. I can just continue to show up and be my most authentic self, share with you guys from a place of love and life experience. So that is number 2. I simply don't care what other people think anymore. Number 3 is huge. My skin is clear. So thank the heavens above that I am getting older and I have grown out of my cystic acne and my hormonal acne. Finally at the point in my life where I can go without makeup and feel confident. I can use all the fun skincare products to put on my face, all the serums and lotions and makeup and all of the things that I wanted to do when I was in my 20s, and I simply couldn't do it because it would break me out. So I am so excited to be coming into my older years of life to experiment with some makeup, to without makeup on days I don't feel like wearing it, to try new skincare products and treatments and just enjoy this point in my life. And it's been a really fun experience. So for sure, number 3 is having clear and glowing skin in my 40s. Number 4 is so important to me, and that is I am so focused on my health. And when I say health, I don't just mean physically, the way I look. I am so much more focused on my well-being, on personal growth, on my mental and my physical well-being, and challenging myself every single day to be a better version of the person I was the day before. In my 20s and in my 30s, coming from being a dancer and a dance teacher and having that dance background, I was more focused on the physical appearance. I was more focused on what I was going to look like on stage or what I was going to look like in my ballet leotard going to classes. I wasn't necessarily focused on personal growth. I wasn't necessarily focused on changing the inside to change the outside, if that makes sense. For the past 5 years, 6 years or so, I have really taken a deep dive and started working on myself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, finding podcasts and books and really educating myself on how to make those changes and change my daily habits so that I can be the best version of myself. Number 5, I can say that I'm actually very grateful for. And when I turned 40 years old, it was like clockwork. I had an existential crisis. And I think what triggered this was that I lost my father to cancer in 2017, and it devastated me. It was the worst possible outcome in that situation. I was so lost. I was so confused. I didn't take the time to grieve properly. I just dove right into teaching more classes, taking on more responsibility, trying to fill up the days so that I didn't have to think or deal with what had happened. And by the time I turned 40 years old, we had come into the pandemic at that time, and there was really not much to do except for to really reflect and think. And I found myself having an existential crisis. I found myself finally realizing that life is so short and that every day that we are here is truly a gift. I found myself looking and searching for answers and just trying to figure out what the actual meaning of life is, purpose in being here. And I went through about 6 months to a year of just being very down and depressed and anxious and sad and just dealing with all of these emotions. And finally coming out on the other side of that and realizing that the time is now. We have to embrace today. We might not have tomorrow. And if you are lucky enough to have woken up today, you have been granted a new day. You have got to seize the moment. I used to be of the mindset of like, well, I can take my time. There's more time. But I think when losing my father, I realized that life is so incredibly short and we always think we have more time and we might not have more time. So if I want to make a video now, I sit down and I make a video. If I want to write something for my Instagram or do a blog post, or I want to call somebody or say something to someone, I say it to them. I don't let a day go by without telling the people that are close to me how much I love them and care about them. And I just really take every single day as a gift. And so I think that that existential crisis taught me so much about living in the now, and I'm really excited about it. That existential crisis happens to a lot of us, if we're being honest, and it can be very scary and confusing, but I think for me, it really propelled me into number 6, which is Jenny chapter 2.0. And I am feeling so excited about my 40s, almost coming into my mid 40s now. I'm feeling like this is a new, fresh start. I know more. I've learned a lot of things along the way. I know how to apply those things along the way. I'm excited to learn even more on my growth to my 50s and my 60s and my 70s and hopefully my 80s and 90s. I am so focused on, as I mentioned, being the best possible version of myself so that I can be the best wife and mom and friend and instructor and just really live each day to the fullest. So I hope that this inspires you in some kind of way. Sometimes we can feel a little sad and depressed when we start to think of getting older. But getting older is truly a gift. It's a blessing. And there are so many people that sadly don't get the opportunity to get older. All of the things that you have been thinking about doing, that you continue to put off, that you continue to wait on, this is your reminder to not wait. Sit down, write yourself a list like I did on a notepad. Write 5 things that you are grateful for. Write 5 reasons why you are excited about the future, why you are excited to be getting older, and reflect on those. And then maybe add to that and write 5 things that you want to accomplish in the next year or so and get to work. The time is now, you guys, to live in the moment. We have to live every single day to its fullest. We are going to have bad days. We're going to have sad days and down days, but we're going to have a lot of really good days too. I've made it to this point in the video. Thank you so much for joining me. And why not consider subscribing? If you've made it this long, come on, join the family. I share tons of workouts and tons of ways to inspire you and motivate you. We are currently going through a home remodel and I'm sharing an entirely new series on that. So I would love to have you. You guys are the greatest. I love you so very much and I'll see you in my next video.